Hi all, welcome to this Team of the Week 13 predictions. Looks a very tasty Team of the Week to look forward to, so if you can smash the links would be awesome. Sub to the channel if you're new, follow me on Twitter at @GIsALegend. All the links are down below for posting the channel and social media links as always. Now, Team of the Week 13 getting headlined by Informed Sun, whose position changed, then Salah also position change, and Cancelo, whose position is debatable of a left back or right back, so be wary of that. But Karius is our starting goalkeeper. Goalkeepers are a bit light in all honesty, with possibility of Donnarumma, Jarstein being a couple possibilities. I've went for 3 goalkeepers this week due to the struggles, but Karius had 4 saves and kept a clean sheet for Besiktas. The only thing that may go against him is the result. That's the only thing that may go against him, but he had a very good match rating as well for what I've seen across the board. So you're kind of clutching at straws on the goalkeepers, I'm afraid. But David Luiz got a goal and a clean sheet for Chelsea in the 2-0 victory. Some people will predict Kante as well, so be very aware of that. One of the two is getting in, Kante or David Luiz. I went for David Luiz, but Kante, don't be surprised if he was to get in and would make Team of the Week just as appealing. But both cards, I'm sure we would probably be very happy with in Team of the Week. David Luiz going to an 85, Kante going to like what, a 90 rated, so definitely plenty food for thought. Cancelo, 1 goal and a clean sheet, 1 assist and a clean sheet even. That's what might go against him, is because it's an assist. If it was a goal, I think that would help him out, but I fancy him, I really do. He had a very good performance, played right back for what I've seen mostly across a lot of sources. A couple outlets have said the left back though, but he did play right back for what I've seen of the game. Gulam, 2 assists and a clean sheet. Milik got 2 goals in the same game, which was a 4-0 victory by the way, so be very aware of that. But Gulam for me looks like to be bagging himself an inform. I think he always seems to bag an inform every FIFA, and it looks like no difference for Gulam. Could be quite cheap but also very appealing due to his league and also his nations. You've got to consider with like Mahrez for example, but Mahrez is on the right, not on the left. Heung-min Son got 1 goal, 1 assist for Spurs. I think this one's almost a given, but I don't want to say 100% that he is for certain going to get in, but he played calm for what I saw, and if that is the case, this card could be very appealing for a lot of people, especially if it's 86 rated. And I would then definitely be saying could be expensive. Like, think about what his base card is just now, what his UCL card is, and then put an inform with a position change. Gets really tasty. With Tadic, 1 goal, 2 assists, should get in, should be a very strong show. I actually thought he'd get in for a Team of the Tournament card. Now if he doesn't get in, the reason why he won't is because they must be having an SBC card for him. But if between now and Wednesday, if he suddenly has an SBC card, then we know he's not getting in Team of the Week. But if whatever happens, then I think he should get in regardless. Now, Tuesday and Wednesday night games from last week, I'm not 100% sure if we'll get someone from that. I went for Toure, who ran very impressively for Nantes against Marseille in the 3-2 game. Also consider Salah up top as well for 1 goal, 1 assist. But Toure's 1 goal, 1 assist, I believe. For what I've seen of him, and because I watched the game, he absolutely ran the show in midfield and could be quite a cheap inform. Ryan Fraser got a goal and an assist in the midweek game for Bournemouth, not obviously the game that they lost 4-0 against Liverpool, but this one's a bit of a punt, I will admit, because if the midweek games were to be included, then Fraser and Toure have a very strong shout of happening. I would say especially looking at some of the options. Like, there's not too many midfielders that have really kind of stood out this week. They're kind of cheap, unless we suddenly get like Rodrigo, or even like Andre from Guimaraes. But Marega, 2 goals, 1 assist. He is a striker, cheap. He's another one that could get a Team of the Tournament card. So like Tadic and Marega, it's funny how both of these guys could get Team of the Tournament cards, yet could have inform for Team of the Week 13. It gets quite interesting. Like, I do fancy Marega to happen regardless. So keep your eyes peeled, and he could be quite cheap. He actually is quite he's got good pace, but it's his dribbling that lets him down. Then on to Mohamed Salah's hat-trick for Liverpool. He played striker, which makes it even more appealing. This card could go off for a fortune, so, and with team of the group stage in packs. I'm sure a lot of people might have just wished they'd held off opening team of the tournament cards due to this. So, but regardless, Salah at striker could be very appealing for a lot of folk, and 90 rated, it definitely gets a little bit more appealing. So, and then on to Rashford. He got 1 goal, 2 assists for Manchester United as they ran riot against Fulham, winning 4-1. You've got Mata to consider as well for 1 goal, 1 assist, but I feel Rashford just a stronger shout. And for all the FIFA fans, I think I'm not sure if he played striker or left wing. I've seen contrasting team sheets, but if he played striker, this could be a heavily desired card, especially if you've got someone like Sancho. Then on to goalkeepers, we've got the Aloe of Rennes. He made 8 saves and kept a clean sheet in the midweek game for Rennes. Definitely a strong shout if we get these games featuring. Like, this is why you'll see, this is why we've featured 3 goalkeepers, because Karius is a bit of an uncertainty, but in the Aloe and or later goalie Goyo is in that kind of mix, so it gets a bit interesting. So it's definitely plenty food for thought. But Diallo, usually when you make 8 saves in a game, I would quite fancy you to get a team of the week. Haddadi, 1 goal, 1 assist for his team in the French top flight. Strong shout, very impressive, and definitely part of the discard informed club of the week. Then this dude got Mendes, got 1 goal, 2 assists. I was going to butcher the first name, I thought I better not say it. But Celta Vigo, it's an alternative to not seeing someone like Aspas, for example, because you always see Aspas when it's Celta. But fairly cheap, fairly straightforward. Imagine like 79, 80 rated, and won't cost too much, but he'll just be one of these informs. Even if you buy him as an inform, he's handy. Then Drexler, 1 goal, 2 assists for Cologne. They're starting to rack up informs now. They've got Hector, they've got Jonas, Hector and Tarot. Jonas is obviously Jonas Hector, made a mark-up right there. But Drexler, fairly cheap inform, I'd imagine, due to playing in the second tier. Worth noting as well that he might just be handy to keep in your club regardless. Vlap, 1 goal, 2 assists for Heerenveen, and should be part of that discard inform club of the week. Obviously not going to be the most appealing card in the world, but he is just a discard inform regardless. Sam Larsson got himself a very impressive performance with 2 goals, 1 assist. That was the earlier in the week game, but the game that they played at today, they won 4-1. And you will see people possibly suggesting Berkus making an inform. Now I'm thinking Larsson for the game the other night, whereas Berkus missed a penalty, so be wary of that. But he's still got a good return. I think it was 2 goals or 1 goal, 1 assist. Zapata got a hat trick, should get in no problem whatsoever for Atalanta. Koyo Chia, 7 saves and a clean sheet for Toulouse. Now, as you can see, this is why we've kind of included carries, because they might go 3 goalies this week, like they did the week with the dude from Serge Bruges. So you might have carries being the standout goalie, but 2 silvers converted to golds. Arias, bit of a stab in the dark, 1 goal, 1 assist and a clean sheet. Rodrigo for Atletico got 1 goal, but he got very good match rating for what I've seen across the board. So that might happen, might not. Tarkowski even made a muck up there. 1 goal, 1 and a clean sheet for Burnley as they got a result against Brighton. It was a scrappy game, but he got the own goal in that game. Lars Bender got 1 assist and a clean sheet for Bayer Leverkusen. This one's a bit of a hit and miss, but for what I've seen across the board, he got some good ratings. I've not seen the official kicker rating, if it's, or it might not be 100% official, but for what I've seen, if it's true, he has an outside shout. And then Ousmane Dembele, 1 goal, 1 assist for Barcelona. I think this card could be quite desirable for a lot of people because it's Ousmane Dembele, and I think a lot of people just want informed galore on this card, definitely. But see what happens. I think Dembele, very strong shout for happening. Now, as you can see by the squad, that Dembele is now in at right mid, and Bruno Fernandes is now in his place. Bruno Fernandes got a hat-trick of assists. This was like the late game that I was kind of watching, and Bruno Fernandes had done like nothing initially, and then suddenly got like a hat-trick in a blink of an eye, and I was like, oh, got to now include him. So we've dropped Ryan Fraser as a result. Other ones that I said that you could see possibly getting in form include the likes of Salah, as in the non-striker, Kimmich for 1 goal, 1 and a clean sheet, Schnatterer of Heidenheim for 1 goal, 1 assist, Mata, Milik, Perez, Lopez, as in Lisandro Lopez, Josef Martinez if we were to get something for MLS final, Falcao and Andre and even Sydney, so plenty to cover. So hopefully you find this useful as always. Let me know in the comments down below who you fancy for and inform. Smash like as always, sub to the channel if you're new, follow me on Twitter at GIsALegend, and I will catch you all later.